good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rebecca Mosley, co-founder of Laughing Place. Over there is Jeremiah Good, our East Coast correspondent. We thought we'd hop on here and share a little bit with you about Walt Disney World Holidays 2024. We like to call this particular talk-in show around these parts Inside LP. Give us a chance to share with you a little bit more of the personal side, kind of what our experiences are, bringing you the content on Laughing Place. We tend to be more fact-based over on LP, less opinion. So I thought I'd ask Jeremiah, hey, all your beautiful pictures, your videos, let's chat a little bit about what you've been seeing. So Jeremiah, how you
What
doing?
have I been seeing? I'm doing quite well. Christmas time is definitely here. Today was actually the official start for most of the parks of the holiday celebration because, it's now Veterans Day as the kickoff of
Right?
Christmas time.
It's amazing. Juby says he wants your opinions. Well, there you go. I want to know first off, because I'm extremely jealous, although I am excited that my upcoming trip will allow me to see some of this myself. But you got to hop over to Disney Springs and do the Christmas tree stroll. I don't know for you. This is like a highlight for me each year at Walt Disney World.
I can remember back when this was that little used to be the bus stops over when they closed the marketplace bus stops, and it was really just ooh, these are nice. Now it has taken over all of Disney Springs with Christmas trees or cruise line bushes. But yeah, it's so much fun. This is one of those things I love, and this year they brought back the maps. Of course, they give you a button if you complete it, but I want to say that it's been happening for the past few years, but the magic bands interact much more with, I think it's all of the trees this year, not
Wow.
just some. And as Doobie, I'm sure, has played more than 1,000,000 times, the Disney Cruise Line, the Treasure, actually does music from the cruise lines, not any of the new songs from the Treasure itself yet.
Okay. Yeah, as Juby points out, long ago, back when Laughing Place was but a baby, in '99, 2000, you would go to Animal Kingdom, and over at
Camp
Camp
Mini
Mini Mickey,
Mickey.
you'd have the trees. And that was one of the fun parts of it, was trying to guess where the tree, what the trees represent. Is it still that way, or is it very clearly like mapped? No, it's very clearly mapped out, huh?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
as you can see that everyone has their own little sign, a little bit of background. Um, like I was saying, the first year, whereas back in the bus stop, it was characters and it was little silly things. This has been much more of the synergy, where Disney Plus has their own, the annual pass page has, or annual pass holders have their own. But it's lots of fun, and I almost like doing it without the map, because the map kind of gives you a where they are. If you're just walking around looking, you can find trees everywhere.
Did you have a favorite?
Um, I I will have to go with the Treasure because it was just
Okay.
fun to sit there and hear the horn. I always love the Haunted Mansion tree. That one they go all out.
Okay.
But all of them this year, I need to get over there at night to see them lit up.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I didn't get a chance to capture a video of, mostly because the reflection was horrendous with the sun, the World of Disney windows, you can now walk up and tap your magic band to them, and it interacts. It finally does something that was promised to us 10 years ago, where it interacts and it says your name with a letter to Santa. Um, Attractions magazine, or attractions.com, has some video up on their social
Okay.
medias, and it's one of those things that I couldn't get because I was running to see all the trees, and two, with the reflection off of it, you can't see almost anything. So at some point we'll go over there at night, maybe in a week or two, when you guys are all here and we can have some fun.
Little tip from me. My favorite time of day to shoot Disney Christmas lights is twilight. When you're just it's just beginning to get dark, but it isn't too dark yet because then you still can see some of the details of the buildings along with the twinkle lights. I can remember back when I was on the scene, taking pictures for the site of holidays. It meant lots of trips to the park right around that time because I'd capture like Adventureland at twilight, and then the next
Yeah.
day Frontierland at twilight, and then it's kind of make my way piecemeal through the parks, capturing all those images where it's not because you know how it can be with your when you're taking twinkle light pictures. If it's too dark, then you end up with just kind of
Yeah, you see a light.
silhouettes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty cool. Not I know you know that, Jeremiah. So just for those of you watching who maybe aren't taking as many pictures for websites of Christmas twinkle lights.
No,
Um,
it's always the challenge of, being the first ones on the scene to get it or having those great photos, which is why I love doing the first ones like the morning of and then going back later and experiencing it all at night, preferably with a group of friends and family for the true
right?
holiday feel.
So Jeremiah did his best modeling for us over. By the way, shirt compliments of Roosevelt's. I'm
Yes.
imagining. And here, these are at Disney Springs. Did you do most of these?
Yes, those are the projected ones, and this is actually the whole setup, but this is a magic shot with Mickey also playing with the dreidel. But it's yeah, it's all very cute. I love what they've done with the photos, especially how they change this throughout the seasons. I was just there, a few months ago and did the pumpkins. Now it's Christmas, and this is another one of the backdrops where they project it behind you.
I
Um,
was gonna say this particular magic shot, you can find variations of it throughout Walt Disney World right now. So you can it's that that kind of that magic of blowing the Mickey snowflakes out into the scene in front of you. And we've got a wrap up on Laughing Place of the various magic shots that are available. And so if you're heading to Walt Disney World, be sure to check out this list so that you know what's out there, what's available, because some of these, like the snowflake one, are available in multiple locations, whereas there's others that maybe there's a specific spot that particular magic shot is available. And so if there's one of these that's your focus, if it's Doug or Stitch or whatever, make sure you're aware of where those are available. And yes, Kyle, the gelt of that magic shot is not, but I love how this is a combination because this was a set piece that you sat on, right?
yeah.
And then they added Mickey, and then you had a prop dreidel.
Yes, and I've seen other takes on it where it's actually on the ground and Mickey is in a different spot on the ground, so they can definitely change it up.
That's
But
so
yeah,
cute,
like the family in front of me, they're like, "Oh, can we use the dreidel?" I'm like, "I want to use the dreidel.
right?
I never got a chance to play with the dreidel as a kid."
I'm sorry for you.
I know.
So there you go. I've played with many dreidels over the
I
years. They're a lot of fun. Although
no.
in my family it was penny in penny out. We played with our gelt were pennies. It'd be harder to do now. My dad actually came up with some sort of numbers game because otherwise it lasts too long. And so he created this way to play with numbers so that it would be a shorter version. It's like when you
Oh,
would play
whoever
like
gets to
quick
the most.
Monopoly.
Mhm.
So if you're not playing all night, it's like here, play Monopoly in this set period. Another holiday bit of fun that Jeremiah has been to recently, Jollywood Nights.
So Jollywood Nights, I mean, last year infamously almost turned into the old Villains Nights at Disney's Hollywood Studios, where it was just so bad.
Did did
Um,
did did that hold throughout the event, or was that really kind of focused on the initial offerings because of like it being the first time and a lot of people wanting to cover it and that kind of thing?
So I've actually gotten a chance to talk to some of the people that were in
Yeah.
charge of the events. Um, what we saw the first night was what the initial plan was. The two shows, a few characters, and that was going to be it. And then they saw the feedback of not enough things to do, the food lines were too long, and then they started expanding right away. Like the difference between the first night and the second night were drastic. And then when I went later in the season, it had changed more so. And then at the end of the season, when I went with Becky from Mouse Fan Travel, one of our great partners, the difference between that, the first night and then one of the last nights, hugely different.
Okay.
Now they've added these fun projections. They've added Glisten, the ice skating show right there. They've spread out the characters. They've spread out where some of the entertainment was. I walked into it not expecting to be blown over, but it was such a fun night. It is one of those things that last year somebody said, "Hey, would you go back?" These parties are expensive. No matter what, that's the bottom line. It is $160 to $200 for one of these parties if you want to go to it. So last year I didn't feel it was worth the money. This year I would absolutely go back with a group because it is so much fun and there's just so many little things to do. I ran around the entire event from before start to after finish, and I feel like I still miss things.
And just to be specific, the pricing is $159 to $179. It's on select dates through December 21st. So if you're heading to Walt Disney World now through December 21st, you can check and see if it's being offered. It's about 5 hours long. I want to say 7:30 to 12:30.
Yes.
Is the runtime. It involves, you're going to have a variety of unique characters to meet. So maybe characters you don't see as often or at all, because I mean, like Doctor Strange made an appearance at Jollywood nights. And it's got unique entertainment. So you mentioned Glisten, which is the new I shouldn't say ice, new skating show.
Yes.
Did you enjoy it? Because I got to watch our video, and we have an excellent HD video available right here on YouTube, so you can see the thing in full.
It was a fun show. I've seen at other parks they do the skating shows, and some of them can just be, look, here's the same 3 tricks. This was a mix of skating and actual live singing, which was very impressive. The performers did a great job the entire show. One of the other great things that I can't believe I can say Florida has finally caught up to this, they have if you're in front of the stage, you're seated from the stage, like almost all the way back to outside of the main plaza area. And then they have a seating or a standing area.
Mm-hmm.
I was so happy for this. Like, the fact that it's taken this long for them to start to do these type, almost Tokyo level, but it was a great show. It's skating, Doobie, not ice skating. I know
it's because it's that new surface that more and more places are using rather than actual, it's some sort of faux surface that emulates an ice rink.
Yeah, and it's a really fun show. Like I said, the live singing added a great component, and it does the tricks. They show off that they can do these things. And anybody that's been to the Central Plaza area knows that stage doesn't seem that big, but when you're watching all those skaters out there, it looks huge.
That's what surprised me, was just knowing the footprint of the performance area. I watched our video. It is not at all what I expected. I'll be honest, because and it grew on me when it first started. I'm like, oh no, I'm not enjoying. But as it went on, I really got into it, and once I kind of let go of my preconceived notions, because I mean the original visual for it was so, I don't know, like 1940s era, um classic Hollywood kind of,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, what I think of as like that traditional, Mel Torme Christmas, Andy Williams Christmas, and it is not. It is very modern.
Yeah.
It has that those some of those elements, but in the middle of it, it has this amazing electric
Yeah.
Christmas medley that is just like, it is rocking, it is jamming. And like I say, that was not, I was really expecting an incredibly traditional
Mm-hmm.
show. So, but they also incorporate some Disney with it. With this, they have a Be Our Guest. They have When You
When
Wish
You Wish You
Upon a
Were a
Star,
Star. Yeah,
which
that was the part
that
was live singing right there. Yeah, that was the show. And one of the things I said about last year's event was it just missed something. Like I still would love a Hollywood type Christmas parade, stars and motor cars type feel, but this show was great because it was right in the center. They did it multiple times during the night, and it was the focal point of almost the entire show. Oh, the Pixar dance party.
So I had to, so since you were mentioning kind of that tip top club and everything, I know that last year it really felt like they were positioning this as an adult kind of high end, get dolled up, get dressed up,
Mm-hmm.
and come and experience, the tip top club. But I noticed there's a Pixar dance party happening.
Yeah,
Did you
they had
feel there was a shift?
oh yes, it is definitely, when they talked about this event last year before it was, before it started, it was very much, this is going to be the adult version of Very Merry. This is where you can come enjoy a cocktail, go to the Tip Top Club, enjoy some dancing, enjoy some fun music. There were a couple of characters out. There was a DJ in one area, but it wasn't the after hours party that is we've come so used to at the parks. The Disney Pixar was clearly, this is where the kids go to dance with joy and Mike Wazowski and sadness, and I saw it was a very visible shift of last year. There weren't that many kids because this party doesn't have a kid's price. All the tickets are one price only. So that was kind of their point to, this is going to be
And
a
they're
fun
giving
event.
out champagne flavored marshmallows when you leave. I mean, come
Yes,
on.
I know that was clearly a shot at that. But the Disney Pixar, or the Pixar Disco, as they called it, was a DJ. She's one of the fun DJs that does the after hours events and is at Disney Springs to get the kids dancing. And the point where I hear the cha-cha slide, I just know they've given up on all the ideas of this being something other than a party where the kids come.
And just to be fair, it's not like last year they didn't have some things that are more like kind of family show. You've got the Disney holidays with Kermie and Miss Piggy and Mickey Minnie. You've got the sing along for Nightmare Before Christmas. But it seems like they're definitely, maybe they either realized a need. Maybe that was some of the feedback, was people were thinking that they weren't going to get it during their vacation, because what am I going to do with my kids? So now they've made it a little bit more accessible to the whole family. By the way, Jeremiah, I was very disappointed to hear you were not a fan of the Agent P croissant, because how cute it is.
This was one of the things that popped up on the map, and I was like, oh, I have to get this for multiple reasons. It was in the Trolley Cafe, which is a Starbucks. So these are all usually pre-made and, not the freshest thing. This was the weirdest combination. The green icing was the mint, which seems to be the flavor of Jollywood Nights, because
Mint.
that's what the Gertie cookie is also.
Okay.
The frosting was pretty fresh to the point where I didn't grab a napkin and I had 3 different people go, "You have frosting all over you." And the term croissant was inappropriate. It is very much like a waffle bite,
Okay.
but a very hard waffle bite. Again, this could be something that may be better if it's fresher. The mint flavor with the M&Ms, with the waffle bite, with the chocolate fedora that was impossible to eat, just all of it fell flat for me. It was very cute. I walked in and talked to the cast members who said that I was one of the few people that actually came to buy this because everybody was trying all the other great
There's
offerings.
so
But
much good food.
yeah, it was something that I'm glad I did. And if somebody gets it and they say, "Oh, this is great," I will try it again. But I would not purchase this.
I want to remind everybody because I know some of you are jumping off socials. You're maybe moving on from the world of Instagram and X and all of these, little sites that are bombarding you with a variety of content. If you visit our live blogs, when we have an event like last night, we Jeremiah was at Very Merry, which we're about to talk about, but for like Disney Jollywood nights, we set up a live blog, and in essence, that'll start to aggregate whatever content and information is coming into us live during the event, so that you can stay on top of it as it happens, and without having to sift through all the other topics that maybe you're not in the mood for. Maybe you're just in a Disney mood. So you can hop on to our live blog. Like I say, last night we were bringing you information from the Very Merry Christmas Party, which is where Jeremiah was from. Here's the start of that live blog. How
Yeah.
was the Christmas party last night, Jeremiah?
So I've been going to the Christmas party consistently for the past 11 years for Laughing Place. Before that, I went a few times as a regular guest. And to me, the Christmas party, the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, has been very much the same thing. And I really wasn't looking too forward to it.
He's
I
jaded,
wa-
people. This is what
no,
I work with here.
yeah,
I'm
it
jaded.
def-
I have to go to the Very Merry Christmas Party. Woe is me.
No, it definitely is nothing has changed. Since they changed out the fireworks and the stage show a few years ago, it's essentially been the exact same thing. And that's, I'm not going to complain that, oh, woe is me, I had to video it all for the 5th time.
Okay, just in fairness, I decided last night after the video popped up from you of Once Upon a Christmas Time, I looked it up, and correct me if I'm wrong, Doobie, but I believe that I found the premiere that Doobie and I went to, and it was 17 years ago, 16 years ago, 17 years ago. And we have a video. We were at Christmas Tree Point of Once Upon a Christmas Time, coming down with the lights, the beautiful castle lights in the background. So yeah, this parade's been around a while, Jeremiah.
But still not as bad as Disneyland.
No.
No, and I think it was definitely just walking in there. Since yesterday was Veterans Day, and I'm jumping off topic for a second, they had the Veterans Day flag retreat where they actually brought in cast members that are veterans, and it was a very beautiful event. And then the party started, and a couple of years ago they started the walkway around, so party guests would walk in and walk down the walkway to the right of Main Street to get into the hub area to start the party. Last year they started with a DJ there, and this year the DJ was back. And that little area, just the energy and the fun of everybody dancing, and they had the stilt walkers, and they have these new light poles that are now snow blowers that I was like, wow, that's amazing. And then I'd look up and the tree above it was just covered in snow. But that area set up the party so well. It got the energy going. And then I just proceeded to walk around and see all the shows. You know,
You got pixie dusted from the moment you
I
walked
did.
in. That holiday magic just coated you to the point where you cracked us up tweeting this out as they have a new character this year, Peter Pan's shadow.
I really wanted a picture with Peter Pan, but they had just closed off his line, and but I was like, yes, that's perfect. Yeah, they had all the princesses with their princes out. They had Jack Sparrow, Captain Jack Sparrow is out, which when that video hits our Instagram, I will regret it that I shared that with Marshall. But still, it's fun. But it was a really fun night. I forget how much the Mickey's Merriest show is on how much fun it is on the stage with
Yes.
Clarabelle and the Text Me Merry Christmas, which I was talking to somebody in the know. I'm like, you guys need to put this stuff out on streaming services or on downloadable services so we can have that song for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, the highlight of the night was Once Upon a Christmas Time Parade, or Mickey's Christmas Time Parade, whatever it's called. Yes, Once Upon a Christmas Time. As Doobie said, this parade started in 2007. The music really hasn't changed much. It no longer has Glockenspiel girls. It doesn't have all the racers. They've changed a lot of things over the years. Yes.
Yeah, many horses.
But
it does have lights.
Yes. Lights were added recently to that. Well, not recently. It's been probably a handful of years. But this year they actually removed some of the smaller floats, but have added more dancers, more soldiers. The skiers are always great, especially when they see a fun camera. But it was such a fun parade. And the new music, so they went through, completely reorchestrated the entire music. So yes, the songs that stay in your head are there, but it's not every single float with the same song. And I talked to a few people that I don't ever want to hear being called a Grinch. They're like, this parade has no more heart. It's not as cute as it used to be. Because they changed up the music. Nostalgia is a killer. But yeah, they've added in the Olaf song from the holiday shorts. They've put in some of more of the classical music. And it's just, I said that the music makes the parade feel brand new.
Yeah, I watched your video last night, and I remember the way the parade hit me before. There would be a point I would just be like, I am done with this song.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever they've done with the orchestration and the adding of Olaf's music as well, I didn't find myself in that same place. And so, yeah, it's so pretty. I don't know. There's something to be said for traditions too, right?
Yes.
Something that's familiar, and each year, it's kind of a grounding for us. And yeah, I enjoy this parade. I still mourn and miss that castle show that used to be
with the country bears.
With the and there was a show that they used to do over at the Tomorrowland stage that was really fun.
The Totally Tomorrowland Christmas that went away last.
Oh no, this was when there was
the Mickey's Nutcracker.
Yes. Yeah.
I never got to see that one.
Decades ago. Oh man, with Mickey and Minnie ending. Mickey and Minnie were in bed at some point. It was very strange visual. It was very funny.
Yeah, the Tomorrowland stage that had been hosting the Totally Tomorrowland Christmas that had Santa or Stitch and Buzz, and it was again a very weird show. And last year they turned it into an a cappella group that was there singing, and this year it is just the Club Tinsel, and it had Judy and Nick from Zootopia and Chippendale and them out there dancing. And then they moved the Disney Junior dance party into Cosmic Rays with Vampirina and Doc McStuffins and all of them. So again, they've kind of adjusted the shows and adjusted the feel of the entire party. But one of the things that I feel was left out of a lot of people talking about was the Santa's Christmas Carnival area, and that's the Storybook Circus, where they put Santa back in the tent, and they have stilt walkers. They were giving you free M&Ms. The weird polar bears were out meeting, and just that entire area, again, fun Christmas music added life to it. They had the characters inside Pete's Silly Symphony or Pete's Silly Sideshow meeting. Santa was in the back, just taking up the space that was perfect for his group.
This is my favorite picture ever. It's like that moment in between. Poor Santa just trying to catch a moment's rest.
It was.
Jeremiah's there. Jeremiah's at the ready. Poor Santa.
Well, that picture and the snow falling at the end of the night picture, which I didn't even look at the faces in the snow falling at the end of the night picture, but I've been told that every single person in there is grumpy as can be.
I will say that when I looked at it, I'm like, oh, I want to crop it to where it looks more like this, so that way you can't see the faces that are closest to you who look exhausted, because it's 12:30ish. Oh yeah, I can look at the clock here. It's 11:45.
Yeah, this was as the parade was ending, so all these people were trapped behind the parade.
Gotcha.
I started down in Fantasyland and then got caught the entire way, and I was trying to make it over to meet Jack and Sally at the Town Square Theater. But as I'm making my way across the street, I'm like, hang on. And my sister actually is like, all those people look so unhappy. I'm like, well, they were trapped behind the parade, or they could be annoyed at the guy who stood in the middle of the street to take a picture of the snow. Either way, it could have been the right reason.
For sure. I'll be sure to put links in the description below to our various holiday coverage. But as we begin to wrap up, Jeremiah, you tweeted an image of food. You actually stopped and ate, which I was surprised.
So I never, if I get a chance to eat, that's one of the things about Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. They have enough space in between all the shows to get a chance. And I was at the very first Frozen castle lighting before the park closed. So I got that. So I kind of spaced it out. But I went and I was told to go get the holiday turkey burger at Cosmic Rays, which is a turkey patty with the mashed potatoes and the cranberry chutney. And it was very flavorful. I'm glad that I did, because by the time I made it to my chocolate eggnog tart, 3 hours later, I would have been gnawing my arm off. But
and don't forget, this is the party where they give you a cookie and they give you hot cocoa.
Yes.
And my understanding is the hot cocoa is better nowadays than it used to be. Do you agree? I've heard that from some, because Joffrey's, I think, has come in.
I only had I had two of the hot cocos, because it's now hot cocoa, eggnog, apple cider, different cookies all over the place.
Yay.
But sadly, they pulled the eggnog before I could go back for my second round. The hot chocolate is no longer the watered down hot chocolate that they do to make sure they can spread it across the entire party. It was very rich and chocolatey. I have all the cookies because I was getting those and throwing them in my bag as I was going, because I don't have time to eat the cookies right now. But it was.
You gave me the impression. Are they different at different locations?
Yes, all cookies, all the different locations. It's no longer just a sugar cookie. All the cookies are prepackaged, and if you have allergies, they have an option. I didn't get pictures of what the option was. I want to say it was like apple slices, but it was, I feel like they've cut down on the amount of treat locations, but at the
Okay.
same time, I never had to wait very long. I mean,
Okay.
that's one of the things, just like with the Halloween party, don't go there first thing, wait the 30 minutes to get the candy. By the end of the night, you can get the handful of candy. Like, I could have gotten 4 different cookies from one spot. They're like, "Here, take more." Like, no, no, thank you.
So at Mickey's Very Merry, we've talked about the entertainment because you have all of the shows, you have the special parade, you have is it unique fireworks, Jeremiah?
Yes,
Remind
it's
me.
the
Okay,
minis merriest. It's
so
it's
you've got those.
yeah.
There's some holiday overlay on attractions. I know that you said that there's a new rockin' holiday music over at Space.
Yeah, Space Mountain in the past few years has had kind of a Christmas feel to it, but this year they added more lights. It is I could play the song on my phone, but I won't. It's like Jingle Bells, but it's very old school Dick Dale feel of Space Mountain. So
So
it
like a
it
surf
was
guitar?
yeah, it's more electronic, but it was definitely more of
Okay,
that feel.
gotcha.
Um, and I'm not a huge Space Mountain fan, but I told everybody, I was like, if you guys didn't do it, you missed out.
Okay. Hot Bloom coming in saying hot chocolate is more your coffee. I can hear that. You don't drink coffee, right, Jeremiah?
I don't. And hot
I'm mad
chocolate.
about that, by the way, because there is a special coffee at this event. It's well, I shouldn't say at this event. I think it's just for the holidays, and so it's available during this event as well. I don't think it's specific to this event, but it's over at the Cheshire Cat. It's a cherry cordial coffee. Oh, this
Oh, I
sounds so
completely
good.
missed that entire area. No, at one point I walked through there. And one of the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party is so much fun, especially with the kids, because there are so many characters out.
Oh wow.
Alice
Okay.
and the White Rabbit, Tweedledee, Tweedledum, Santa Stitch was out. All the princesses and their princes were around. One of the ones that sadly they removed this year were the Seven Dwarfs, which kind of come and go each year, because I always love getting pictures with all of them.
All 7.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
there was so much to see and do. You get your ticket price for this. This is the one that I believe the highest one is $199.
Ah, you're behind. It's 219 now. The highest
Okay,
is
see?
219.
Yeah.
So it's like 179 to 219, and it's now through December 19th. So if you have a holiday trip planned to Walt Disney World, you can check out if it's on that, because not every night, it's select
Yeah.
night. And this is one of those parties that I have missed going to. It was an annual tradition that GB and I would go and get the videos and images for LP, and then go back later at some point in the season and go just to enjoy it
Mm.
because it was so much fun, and there's a lot to do. Um,
Yes.
so if you haven't had a chance to check it out, um, you can look at our YouTube videos to get a feel of what the entertainment is like and see, because there's so much going on now. It used to be back in the long time ago, that it was really reduced as far as attendance, but I don't think that's still the case
No.
anymore. So if somebody's going to the theme parks, are you looking at shorter wait times for rides at all, or is it really just like a full day, but then also all of this additional stuff?
If you want to do the attractions and not see all the shows, it is a lesser wait time. I know
Okay.
um, Space Mountain had a 30-minute wait posted. I was talking to one of the guys around me at one point who said he got on the Tron. Uh, Tiana's Bayou Adventure has a standby line, so you can actually go and ride that. I'm
Oh, without
surprised
the
Tony
view.
hasn't bought that out every night. Um, but it is less crowded than a normal day. But if you want to see the shows, one of the things that one of my friends that also was covering it was saying was it felt so crowded because all that was the shows. It's what they were trying to cover.
Right.
And the fireworks are as crowded as seeing Happily Ever After on a weekday.
Okay.
So you are, if you want to see the shows and everything, you have to plan it correctly. If you're
Yeah.
there to do the attractions, get the cookies, see the characters, yes. Can you do everything in one night? Absolutely not. I was running nonstop last night. I barely got to see any of the characters, but I got to see all the shows and everything. So there aren't many times where I say, I am so glad that I was wrong last night. Mickey's Very Merry, where I was kind of like, okay, it's the same thing. It every year it brings back the holiday feels, and it gets me excited for it. And then you start to get a little tear until you hear Clarabelle singing, and then it goes back to the fun side.
For sure. And once again, if you want to get our coverage live as it's happening, stop by the site. Check out the top little portion right here. It says what we're covering, and if we're someplace live, we'll have a blog going on there. And then as it's happening, those posts will happen. And if you miss out and you want to check it out the next day, just hop over there and scroll through, and you'll see the various tweets from that event. Recently, we were at Jollywood Nights. We were at Very Merry Christmas Party. Ben and Alex were down in Brazil at D23 Brazil. So we are constantly bringing you information and experiences from around the globe when it comes to Disney.
Constantly. If there isn't something live going on that somebody is at, there's something wrong with us.
Yep. So thanks, Jeremiah, for coming and chatting about the holidays. I'm hoping we'll get to do this again before the season's over and talk about gingerbread, because I'm heading to Florida soon and it is all about gingerbread for me. And so I want to come back and share with everybody, and I'll have you come on too, and we can talk gingerbread, because that's my favorite time of year at Walt Disney World.
The Boardwalk Gingerbread House opened today, and the one at Yacht Club opens in a few days.
The Beach Club one looks amazing. I can't wait to see it in person.
It is so
Mickey's Christmas
nice.
Carol.
And then of course Grand Floridian and Contemporary. So yeah, go over to MEI Travel, Mouse Fan Travel, people. Book a holiday. You can still get tickets for the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party later in the season. Right now, I believe all early December is sold out, so it's getting closer and closer to selling out. So if you want a ticket, plan, go to them. They will purchase and do everything for you and get it all set up for you.
And wanted to remind you that this evening we have Disney Trivia Live, so be sure to come back and check that out. And in just a little while, I'll be back with our site manager, Rebecca Burbank, to talk about the latest Disney merchandise. So yeah, there's lots going on here at Laughing Place. Hope you all stay tuned. If you enjoyed this, give us a like, because when you give us a like, it helps other people find us. And drop in the comments. Let us know, what's your favorite Walt Disney World celebration. Are you excited to see the trees? Do you have a favorite show that pops up during Mickey's Christmas party? We would love to hear from you. And yeah, we'll see you all real soon.
Bye.